Right, guys, what is happening? Welcome back to the channel. Andrew Tate fires back, and he's got something to say about the Muslims in the UK, and also Keir Starmer. And he's got something to say about the Muslims from the UK because he's been criticising, he's been commenting on the riots, criticising the government and commenting on the riots and what's going on in Belfast. So we're going to listen to what Andrew Tate has to say. Drop a comment, like and subscribe if you're an English, British patriot and you love this country. Hit that notification bell so I can keep bringing you more news like this. Let's go.
You have men who feel that they're going to lose their lands. They eventually become enraged. And if you don't give them any kind of outlet, and typically an outlet would be allowing them to have a voice, a fair voice, which allows people to understand and respect their concerns. That doesn't happen in the West. You're not allowed to say that you're upset or you're concerned about anything. You are instantly labeled and shut down and shut up. And if you take something and pressurize it, eventually, if you over-pressurize it, it explodes. I don't think that the problem is Muslims. I think the problem is the government refusing to listen to men who are worried about losing their lands, refusing to listen to men who are worried about losing the land that their ancestors died for.
Yeah, it's so true, innit? Sorry to keep pausing it, but it is true that the kings that have come before on these lands, half of my heritage is English, you know, what the people before us have fought for, what the people in World War One, the men signing up to World War One and Two when they weren't even old enough to go into war, but yet they lied because they wanted to fight for this country and protect it. And that's what true patriots understand. And that's what patriots see, that our forefathers before us have sacrificed so much for this land. And to see what's happening to it, it almost feels like it could be for nothing. So I totally understand the frustration. I condemn violence and condemn arson attacks and things like that. But obviously, you've got to understand their frustration. Just put this on the other shoe. And if people from another country were going into an African country, they would call that colonisation. Or if the white man was doing it. So I do understand their frustration and their anger, as Andrew Tate does. I don't always agree with what he says, but he understands.
And if you look at any geographical area on the planet, when men face losing their lands, eventually there's going to be some form of violence as they resist that. It's inside of every single man's DNA to fight for the land that he believes is his. We talk about this with Gaza, Israel right now. So I think it's kind of hypocritical to talk about how the Gazans have been repressed and the land is being taken from them by insane globalists, and then sit there and say, well, the British shouldn't complain that insane globalists are importing millions and millions of military-age males who intend on taking the land from them. Please understand, guys, I'm half black, half white, but the average white man doesn't feel safe to put his daughter out in the street anymore. In the country he pays taxes in, and he's paying taxes to pay for a hotel room for some random Muslim or Christian, some random Islamic Bangladeshi or Christian Rwandan.
Yeah, I can speak to this firsthand. I work on site. I'm only a working man. I'm not well educated. I don't know much apart from a common man's life experience. So I work on site. I'm a decorator. Sometimes you'll catch me with paint on my hands and things like that. And when we finish a new build, and it happens all the time, we finish a new build, the people that are then getting that house from the council are normally not English, are normally not even British. It's not as if it's a white family that's got 4 kids, that's been on council waiting list for so long, that gets this 3-story house, 2 en-suites, 4 bedrooms. It's not them. I see it all the time, every day. It's not even British brown, British Jamaican, British Pakistani, British African. It's not even them. It's not even the people that have been waiting on the list first. It is normally people that are not from this country, that are not born in this country, that get the house. And you finish it, you do all that work, and then you see it'd be quite rewarding to see like a nice English couple move in, and to know that they've been on council waiting list for many years. But that's just not the case. It's just not the case. It's normally some people that are not from this country that have maybe been in this country a couple of years or so. Now, I'm not here to say whether that's right or wrong because I don't want to get in trouble. I'll let you decide whether it is or not, but I'm just telling you my experience of being on these new builds. Yeah, it happens.
Live for free while he works his ass off. You tell me these kind of people are not going to be mad? The Islamic world wouldn't allow this. Dubai wouldn't allow this either. This is not about Islam, and this is not about England being a racist country. What this is actually about is a tier of bullshit elites, globalists, and they love the idea of getting the poor people to fight against each other. Guys, I'm from the streets. I'm from a Luton council estate, and Luton's a very Islamic town, and I grew up at the bottom of the socioeconomic ladder. I'm now at the highest possible echelon. And let me tell you guys something. As someone who's gone from a council estate to a billionaire, let me promise you this. When a black billionaire meets a white billionaire, there's no racism. They're billionaires. Racism's for the poor people, and the elites love it. The elites love making the white poor man fight the Islamic poor man. They want you two poor people fighting so they can stay in charge. The problem, my message to the British patriots is the problem are not the Muslims you live amongst. You have more in common with the men you live amongst than you do the people who are making these insane policies. And my same thing I'll say to the Muslims. The problem is not the average British man you live amongst. The problem are insane globalists who refuse.
Well, I would personally disagree with that statement from my lived experience. I think there's a very big difference. I don't want to go into it too much because I don't want to get in trouble being perceived as picking on Islam and things like that. But I'm sure you guys know. I'm sure you guys can see a difference. There is a pure, clear separation between an Englishman with family from this country and people born in this country, sons and daughters of immigrants that have come over that have different religions.
Anyone a point of view who refuse to do anything which is good for the actual population of the country. And I actually would argue that if the British patriots were to go up to the average Muslim men that they have a problem with and say, do you think people should be allowed to arrive here without passports and just turn up and run around and break the law and live for free? They'd probably agree with them. The British political class has been infiltrated by globalists who are intent on destroying the country. Those are the true enemies of the average British citizen. And I hope that people realize that before it's too late, because it's very easy to turn on the people around you because they're a different color, but the people around you are quite often in the same position you are. And I think that all it would take is giving the average British man a voice, allowing him to have a point of view which is respected, enforcing a border, which every country should have anyway, and understanding that these insane policies that the British public are being forced to swallow, the Emiratis would never swallow in the UAE. So this is not even an Islamic issue. Stop confusing and conflating it with racism, with Islam, with all these things, and just make it very clear. The British people want to have a state with a border. They want to have a voice in the country that they pay taxes to, and they don't want to be sold out by a bullshit political class. And if you do those things and give these people the basic rights they deserve as full-grown men, you'll probably see all the violence end near instantly.
So there we have it. Some wise words from Andrew Tate. There's many things that I would disagree with on that, but there's many things that I would agree with as well. So it'd be interesting to know your thoughts. Do you totally agree with Andrew Tate? Do you think we've got more in common with a common Muslim man, and it's the elite class? I think obviously it's the elite class, but I do think that there is some differences, parallel cultures running alongside each other that unfortunately will never mix. Yeah, let me know in the comments down below. Be respectful. We're not trying to cause hatred or violence. We're just trying to educate people. Thanks for watching.